It's New Thought Talk. I am your host, Reverend Steve Walling from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera. Welcome to the show today. I have as my guest in studio today one of the practitioners from the Center for Spiritual Living located on Clinton in Fresno. It's Juanda Moore. Welcome. You are a practitioner in religious science. You have been in the spiritual philosophy for a long time.
Very long time.
And we're gonna touch on that, but the Clinton Center has been here how long in Fresno?
It's been here for more than 40 years.
Yeah, it's been here a long time.
It's been here a long time.
And if you haven't had a chance to stop by there some Sunday, it is a great place to be. The people there are pretty nice people, I understand.
They're awesome. We're awesome.
They are. You
Yes.
are. So I want to start with Juanda Moore to begin with, because you have some history in religious science.
I have about 27 years history
Right.
in religious science.
And when you started here in Fresno, that's when they had the big Church of Religious Science that, was it Don Ringnes was the minister then?
You know, when I started, Don Ringnes was the minister of the Fresno Church of Religious Science.
Right.
And we had our meetings at the Masonic Temple
Yeah.
down on Shields, I believe.
How many people would show up on Sunday?
Anywhere upwards of 120 to 200 people on a Sunday. It was filled.
Yeah,
It was filled.
filled it up.
Yes.
Yeah, I talk to Don from time to time. He's a long time retired, but he was telling me that they had quite an organization. Then Reverend Tom and Gisela came, and they were there for a while, and then was Mary Lou Schumacher?
Well, in between Don and, when Tom took over the reins because Don Ringnes retired, there was an explosion or a fire at the Masonic Temple, and we had to move to Bullard and Cedar. And I think the center was there for maybe 5-10 years or so.
Yeah.
Then we moved to Barstow and Fresno Streets, and Tom was still there. He went off to do some other things for a little bit, and Gisela, his wife, was our minister for a long time. And then we got Mary Lou Shoemaker.
Right.
And then we kind of
lost
the energy.
Right.
We lost the energy.
Yeah.
And we separated. In the meantime, Jeanette Freeman had started doing classes in meditation in our house, which grew into Church for Today, which was at Cedar and Herndon. Again, we were in the gym at Casner for a little bit, and then we went to Cedar and Herndon, and that became a really, really big movement for her in that gym when we were in the gym, and then we expanded, and then it kind of turned into the Oneness Center because the energy got dissipated for some reason.
Okay, why do you? And I'm gonna put you on the spot, Juanda. Why do you think the energy got dissipated? Because this is something here in the Fresno Central Valley area. This has become kind of a passion in my ministry, because that energy didn't go. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's still here. It's just been shifted, and I believe we can shift it back. I believe that we can take this town and rock and roll it, because there's people here, just like there were people back then, that want the message that we have to teach, that they can be self-empowered, that they can create a better life for themselves, that there's this thing that we call God that is absolutely everywhere, nowhere that it's not, and it's available to each and every one of us that we can use. That hasn't changed. That consciousness hasn't changed. It's here. But what do you think happened that caused it to shift? What are we looking at that maybe we want to address with our people? What is it the Clinton Center wants to reach out and tell people? Because to fill those seats with people that are thirsty, that are hungry for this message, that's our mission.
Right.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you think happened?
Well, you know what I think happened is that people start living their lives and they don't realize that their life is not just what they're here to touch and feel and work through. Their lives involved everything, including their spirituality. And sometimes we lose that when things start happening. We lose water. We get into conflicts all over the world. We can't feed our kids. I mean, life happens to us.
We get stuck in the materiality of
life. Happens to us, yes.
And I was just reading, do you remember Tom Johnson? Reverend
Yes,
Tom?
yes, I do.
I've got a series of tapes of his that, I pull out the old cassettes and I've listened to stuff, and he was doing a study on Joel Goldsmith and some of Goldsmith's stuff.
Right.
Which is, if you're out there, these are people that you could look up and you can access, but he was saying that, and we all say this in many different ways. We have basically three things that we, as human beings, to walk in balance, need to address. We need to address our spiritual, our physical, and our mind, our consciousness.
Yes.
Our materiality. Our mentalness. And when we do that, we keep in balance. And how many wealthy people have you read about, or you see they're always on the magazines at the supermarket.
Yeah.
That they're celebrities, they're wealthy, they're this, they're that, and the other, but they're on that magazine because their life is in the tank.
Exactly.
They got it here, but they don't have it here.
Right.
Right. How many spiritual people do you know that's just the same thing? They're very spiritual, but their life has kind of gotten away from them. And there's an imbalance. And I'm not talking about the person that dedicates themselves to a spiritual life.
Right.
But I'm talking about people that get wrapped up in their spirituality to the exclusion of everything else.
Well, you know what? Even taking an example as old as Tammy Faye Baker.
Yeah.
They were very spiritual, but they got caught up in the material part, the life part, the physical part, and they lost the spirituality.
Yeah.
It happens because we forget.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget. It's harder to have the discipline to focus on your faith.
And the discipline, when people show up at the center, like when they come to CSL Clinton on Sunday, they get a good message.
They get an awesome message.
They get an awesome message. They get good fellowship. They get love.
Right.
But if they leave and go out and spend the rest of their week doing what normal people do, getting involved with, my job, my this, that, the bills, and that, and the other.
Flipping off people on the freeway.
Right.
Getting upset because somebody cut in front of you.
And they don't maintain that connection with their spiritual home. They're not taking classes or studying or doing daily meditation.
Or practicing.
Practicing,
Yes.
Then they get out there and they get away, and then they'll come back on Sunday and go, why do I need this today?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And our theme, it's interesting that you say that. Our theme for the month of May is practicing unconditional love. Which means that you have to practice it. It doesn't just happen automatically. You have to focus on it. You have to do something. It's not easy, but it's not hard.
It's not easy for the undisciplined person. But as you begin to do your daily practices, you actually, the brain shifts.
Right.
You can rewire the brain. You rewire, actually, there's things that science tells us in the neurophysics, neurobiology, that as you continue to do this on a daily basis, you embody it. It becomes part of your life experience. And then it's not that it's easy, it's just that becomes life.
You know what happens? It happens actually on 3 levels.
Yeah.
As you're practicing it and as you're focusing, it's just like developing a habit. What you do is develop those ingrains in your brain, and your brain says, "Oh, this is the path this is the path I'm supposed to follow," and it becomes automatic. But that happens on 3 levels. It doesn't just happen in your heart.
No.
It just doesn't happen in your mind. You have to have the will, which is what God gave us.
Right.
Free will. You have to have the free will to want to make it happen.
I have heard that rumor. But that's what brings me here, and that's what brings me to my center on Sundays, and working with the ministry here in the Fresno area to see us all grow, because people have an urge within themselves to experience that, but oftentimes they have no idea, no clue how to
get there.
How to get there.
No.
But everybody's familiar with old thought, that, we've fallen short of the glory, and that, we have to atone for something that we may never have done, may have been distantly related to, or whatever, that there's some rules that we have to follow, and then if we do all that, we still may not make it to the beyond whatever. Instead of knowing, and when we listen and when we read through, like the Science of Mind, and through mystic teachers over the ages that have told us, when Jesus spoke, he said the kingdom of heaven is within.
Exactly.
It's not the goal line once you get to the end.
Right.
It's within.
Right.
And we're going to cut away to our first break, but we're going to pick it up from there. We're going to talk about that moving forward. You got something going on.
And I got to talk to you about what Michael Beckwith says about that, too.
Well, then we will.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you when we come back.
This segment brought to you by Art Douglas Plumbing Incorporated. For all of your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs, call 559-222-5306.
Better Ceramic Tile is a locally owned and operated family business since 1975. They clean ceramic and porcelain tile and aggregate and PebbleTech floors. Call Better Ceramic Tile at 299-2878 or check them out at betterceramictile.com. Marty, the concrete guy, specializes in all types of concrete work. Contact Marty at theconcreteguy.com or call him at 559-718-9952. Located on Avenue 9, Toca Madera Winery's beautiful tasting room overlooks undulating hills covered with majestic vines. A perfect place to taste wine. Call Toca Madera Winery at 474-8286 or visit them on the web at tocamadeirawinery.com.
We are conveniently located across from Bullard High School on North Palm Avenue in Fig Garden. Morales Wellness Dental offers quality-oriented family dental care and service in a personalized and comfortable manner. As you enter our office, you'll always be greeted by our warm, caring dental team and will be invited to relax in our finely appointed lobby. We have 7 patient treatment suites that feature monitors for your in-op entertainment and diagnostic review. Our comfortable hygienist suites are the ideal setting for regular cleanings and checkups. As safety is our utmost priority, all instruments are put through our modern sterilization center. Furthermore, our sedation suite offers you both comfort and peace of mind during advanced dental procedures. And for your privacy, we have 2 separate patient consultation offices. Take the worry out of your next dental visit by calling us today. Experience our commitment to excellence, respect, and honesty at Morales Wellness Dental.
Are you currently shopping for solar? Give Solar Negotiators a call. You see, what they do is they fill downtime at a reduced rate to make sure that you always get the best deal. Don't find out later that you could have bought your solar for thousands of dollars less. Call Solar Negotiators.
If you're looking to go solar with confidence and have someone represent you in this transaction, give Solar Negotiators a call at 844-OWN-SOLAR or visit solarnegotiators.com.
You have sleep questions? Mattress Land Sleep Fit has real answers. Oh, I feel like people need a map to find their way around some mattress stores.
No, what people actually need is BedFit. It's a diagnostic system that maps your body for you. It measures your height, your weight, your distribution of weight. It actually measures your lumbar curve and how flexible that is, along with a little bit of pain questions, and we're going to find the right fit for you.
The right fit for me?
The right fit for you.
Shouldn't have bought that GPS.
Yeah, it was probably a bad move on your part.
Mattress Land Sleep Fit. The right bed, the right experience, the right price.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back. It's New Thought Talk. I'm your host, Rev Steve, from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera. And my guest for today's show is Juanda Moore. She is a prayer practitioner from the Center for Spiritual Living located on Clinton in Fresno. Again, Welcome to the show. Welcome back to this segment. Before we went away to the last segment, we were talking about people finding this, coming from old thought, having this inner urge to make a connection, and finding a practicing, working philosophy that teaches the beauty of you, the glory of you, the godness of you. Okay, and you were going to tell me about what Michael had to say.
Michael Beckwith has this humongous, gorgeous love center down in the LA area called Agape. And he is just a phenomenal person. But what he says is that, you spend all your life worrying about sin and worrying about what you're going to do when you go to heaven and if you've been good enough to get there. And he said, don't even pay attention to any of that, because when you die, you just die. You take yourself with you.
Yeah.
You just change the expression that you happen to be, because we don't ever die.
No.
We don't ever die. The bodies are tools which we use, sometimes become useless.
Yes.
Which means we have to shed them, but we don't die.
In the teaching, Wanda, we do teach that we're infinite beings.
Exactly.
That God created us as a part of God, not apart from God.
Exactly.
And as God is eternal and infinite, so is God's creation. But like all of God's creation, we evolve, we change, we move on. But we are forever advancing, and that's what Michael's talking about. And that's when Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is found within.
Within.
That's what he was telling us. This is where we need to go.
It's not outside.
Heaven is what we create in this life. So is hell.
Exactly. And that's a concept that people, if they're good enough, then they won't go to hell, or if they're good enough, they won't be in purgatory or whatever. But it doesn't have anything to do with that. We, as creations as expressions of God, God's Son, Jesus, he sent the Son here to show us how to do it.
Right.
And we still haven't figured it out. God didn't send him down here to beat us up. And although in the Bible you can find instances where there is that aggression, where there is the bad stuff, the vengeful God.
Right.
But God never intended for vengeance to be a way of life for us.
When you, and I'm kind of a student of New Testament history.
Yes.
When you begin to look at the history, in the early days before Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were written, there was a fellow by the name of Marcion. And Marcion took a look. He followed not too long after the death of Jesus. And he said, that vengeful God that was out of the Old Testament? He said, that's not the God that Jesus was talking about.
Exactly.
That was the early church. And they believed that. Now, there was a lot of changes that took place in the early church. And what happened was you've got this structure that grew up with this structure about what they wanted people to do and believe about Jesus, but not necessarily what Jesus taught. Jesus taught a loving God, Abba, Daddy, Father.
Exactly. You know what that was all about, and it's the same today as it was then. It's about power, it's about money, whatever that form is for them, and it's about being in control of something that you don't really need to be in control of.
And it's about telling people that believe that they're less than, that that's where they need to be.
Well, that's the only way you can control people.
Yeah, and so in doing that, then whatever bad happens in their lives is just
it's
God.
Their fault.
Yeah,
it's their fault.
Their fault. It's God
fault.
doing, and there's no hope. The hope is in, if you follow the rules and you dotted all the I's and you crossed all the T's, when you cross that end line that we call death, the hope is when I get to the other side. But that's not what Jesus taught.
Exactly.
He said, the reality is here, is now. And all that I did, you can do and more. And it's not me that does the work, it's the Father within me. And the Father within me is the heaven within you, the Father within you.
Exactly.
And so that theme has been found throughout history. It's been beat down many times by the organized churches and philosophies, but it's never went away because truth doesn't die.
Truth doesn't die, and if you understand, if anybody understands that we were created from the love intelligence that also created the galaxies, that created this earth, that created everything that is, even the rocks, some people,
Right.
oh, rocks,
Yeah.
animals, everything
Everything.
comes from the love intelligence that is our source.
Right.
And that's the only thing we can be. We can put roadblocks in the way. We can allow our ego, which is our tool, to send us down the wrong path because it's trying to protect us. But the ego's job and the body's job is to protect the spirit within.
That's right.
And it all comes from your heart. If you look in somebody's eyes, what do you see? You see light. You don't see hammers or daggers
Right.
jumping out of people's
No.
eyes.
And so when I, on a Sunday morning, because I've been burned one time too many in old thought, and I have a need for, some good spirituality, and there's an awesome place here in Fresno that's called the Center for Spiritual Living. When I get up and I go down there, now your meditation starts at what time?
Meditation starts on Sunday at 10:30 exactly. It lasts for 20 minutes, and it's a form of meditation that's silence, practice in the silence.
Right.
There are different forms of meditation. We also have meditation during the week in Northeast Fresno. But the form of meditation that we practice is to be still and know. You're trying to connect, and you can't connect when you got the beats going on and when you got the TV in the other ear and when you're
and the news that's telling you
news
the
is
world's
telling
going
you
to-
that the world is coming to an
Yeah.
end tomorrow.
Exactly.
And the other people that are jumping up and down and yelling and raising their hands, oh, we don't have any water, 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 and they're right.
They don't.
If we listen to that, they're right, because now they're in control. We're not in control.
That's right. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to move on from meditation. At what time does the celebration start?
Celebration starts at 11 o'clock. We start with uplifting music. We welcome our guests because we're so glad to see them, because for us, the guests represent another form of God coming to visit us.
That's right.
And
Very
it's
good.
always exciting to have people join us.
And you've got, and they can go, your webpage is cslfresno.org.
Yes.
So you can go to that webpage, and on that page, do you have the listing of activities and events
We
and
have
stuff?
activities and events, and those change frequently.
Mm-hmm.
We have regular I Am discourses at the
Right.
center on alternating Mondays. I Am discourses comes from A Course in Miracles.
I was gonna say, isn't
so
it?
we
Yeah.
have a lot of things going on there.
Right.
We have a center that has been used for weddings and other kinds of ceremonies, because we have a waterfall outside and a pergola.
Yeah,
So-
you have your outside area. You've got a nice grass, and there's a little pergola, and for like a summer or springtime wedding or something
Yes,
outside in that environment. Receptions, you've got that beautiful
And a
hall
hall
that
for-
goes
yeah,
with it,
right.
and a great sanctuary.
Right.
And you're centrally located, right on Clinton. What's the cross street there? Clinton.
Cross Street is Clinton and Fruit, between Fruit and West on Clinton at 723.
Easily accessible from anywhere in Fresno.
Right, and we have a
basically.
great parking lot too, so
Well,
you
and that's
don't have
good.
to worry about that.
Yeah. So you've got all that stuff going on.
We have a lot going on.
Well, that's-
And in addition to the classes, we do certification for students who are interested in becoming licensed practitioners. Practitioners are licensed.
Let's take a moment and talk about a practitioner,
Yeah.
because not everybody knows. We talk about practitioner. We got the inside line on it. But tell me about a practitioner.
Practitioners are licensed by the Centers for Spiritual Living to pray for people. We're spiritual counselors. We don't have the PhD or the
Right.
LM, the
You're not-
initials
you're
behind
not
it,
there
but
to-
we have our RSCP, which stands for Religious Science Practitioner.
Right.
We perform and practice scientific prayer for people who request it. And our prayer is to know the truth for people, not necessarily to fix them, not necessarily to make all the bad stuff go away, but to get them in alignment, to know that they are always in alignment with God.
One of the things that Ernest Holmes taught, he said that if God ever answered any prayer,
He answers
he
all.
answers all
He
prayer.
answers all of them.
And most people, particularly people in old thought religions, they don't understand that. They 911 this guy that's out there somewhere. Oh, please come
Well, they
intervene.
beg.
Yeah,
They beg.
Yeah, You know, please
bad.
come and intervene. As if they're out in the, they're out in the desert somewhere and they're asking to be rescued.
Exactly.
But if God is everywhere,
All
you
the
don't
time.
you don't have to go anywhere.
No lapses, no
That's it.
gaps. And what Ernest Holmes did is a schematic that allows people to realize their association. There is only one power, and you unify with that. I realize that I am from this one source.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this is the truth for me. I'm grateful for whatever it is, and I let it go. I let it go back to God. I can't hold on to it.
And when we recognize our truth, that there's one God, never, nowhere that God is not.
All the time.
All the time. Right here, right there, everywhere. We're going to take another break. We'll come back and we're going to talk about God. We're going to talk about rain. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff. Join us when we come back. We'll see you then.
This segment is brought to you by Jonathan Rooker of the Law Office of Nuttall and Coleman. We help good people during tough times. Call 441-0441.
MPS Security, Fresno's premier private security and investigative services. They exceed expectations. Call them at 559-478-7747.
For Italian cuisine, you've grown up knowing that DeCicco's in Clovis has the best. Now, for grown-ups, DeCicco's Lounge at Clovis and 4th in downtown Clovis for your after-work relaxation and all of your special events needs. DeCicco's Clovis Lounge.
The Simonian family has been farming in the valley for 3 generations. Cold weather, drought, or accidents made ag investments risky. In 1951, C.D. Simonian started his own insurance agency to protect valley farmers from the uncertainty of the unknown. For your agricultural insurance needs, call C.D. Simonian Insurance Agency at 559-834-5333 or visit us on the web at cdsimonianinsurance.com. Join us for the AME Food Safety Show on Central Valley Talk. With increasing numbers of people having bacteria and virus health challenges, the program helps people make safe food choices. We give you the best nourishment research and facts and let you decide on your next food decisions. Watch the AME Food Safety Show Saturdays at noon on CentralValleyTalk.com.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Are you currently shopping for solar? Give Solar Negotiators a call. You see, what they do is they fill downtime at a reduced rate to make sure that you always get the best deal. Don't find out later that you could have bought your solar for thousands of dollars less. Call Solar Negotiators.
If you're looking to go solar with confidence and have someone represent you in this transaction, give Solar Negotiators a call at 844-OWN-SOLAR or visit solarnegotiators.com.
For all of your real estate needs, call Mike Briggs Properties, 559-486-6758, or check us out at MikeBriggsProperties.com.
This segment is brought to you by Michael Robles Voice Actor, a Spanish and English-speaking voice for your business. Check him out at www.michaelroblesactor.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back. It's New Thought Talk. I'm the Reverend Steve Walling from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera. My guest for today is Juanda Moore. She is a licensed practitioner at the Center for Spiritual Living located on Clinton. We've been talking about that wonderful center there and things going on, and we've been talking about science of mind. And we're talking about love, the ever-presence of love, this love consciousness.
The intelligence that holds the universe in order.
Exactly. You know, we talk about love. Sometimes people misconstrue that when they go, oh, love, you know, like Beatles, love, love.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Love, seriously, I don't even believe that we have a full understanding of the enormity of what that
What
is.
unconditional love is. We had a chance to see it when the Romans killed the Jesus, put him on the cross, and he's on the cross with his hands bleeding, his body dying. He said, Father, what did he say?
Forgive them, for they
Forgive
know
them.
what they do.
Forgive them.
Yeah.
And forgiveness is letting it go.
Yeah.
It's not trying to beat people up about it. It's just letting it go.
Oh, but I like beating people. and isn't that the hook that we get? You
That
know,
is the hook.
I want my pound of flesh. I want my revenge. I got to be in competition. All the I gottas instead of the I ams.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
When we go to I am. I am
is all there is.
That's it.
Most powerful words in the galaxy.
Yeah.
I am as God created me. If we just think that, I am. Whatever you want to put after it. Nobody ever wants to say, I am stupid, I am dumb. Who wants to do that? Because you're just pronouncing your future.
Yeah. You're creating that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that we do that in thought. You know, a lot of people don't understand that thought is really a creative thing. It is a thing. It's not just something goes on inside our head.
You know, thought is what operates on our brains and our minds to allow us to move into whatever space we want to. It's a very powerful thing because even Ernest Holmes, all of the New Thought and New Age people talk about that thoughts are things. What's her name? Louise Hay.
Louise Hay, yeah.
Louise Hay. She's written many books. Thoughts are things.
Thoughts are things. They're not only things, they're creative, and, you know, as in New Thought, religious science and the other forms of New Thought, we've been talking about this stuff for years. Thoughts are things, thoughts create reality, and a lot of people, particularly people that are tied to old thought, you know, they've poo-pooed that and said it's airy-fairy, whatever.
No, it's
but
not.
Today, science, with all the new instrumentation and investigative, you know, research equipment that they have, we know that thoughts don't end at the inside here. We can measure thoughts out here and beyond, and we can read thoughts now to a certain level. That which we have here, we're like kind of broadcasting.
Exactly.
You
all
know,
the time.
and we broadcast out into this, and it's not a nothingness. God is everywhere, and we're broadcasting into a God consciousness that always responds to thought.
Always responds
You know?
as you think.
Watch what you're thinking, folks. It can come back and bite you, and it will if you don't pay attention to it. And we come home to the news, and it tells us that there's war, there's poverty, there's this, there's that. You know, not a day goes by that the news doesn't have more misery and negativity to lay into your life if you want to buy into it.
Well, I guess what they say is that news is supposed to be what's different, and what they are purporting to give us is information to validate the fact that, whoa, it's really, really bad. But what they don't understand is that Native Americans, all of this stuff was predicted by them centuries ago, okay? All of this happened centuries ago as well. We have the impact today of so many people that are having an impact on the resources that we have, then the information is only strengthening the fact that, whoa, we're in trouble.
Well, you know,
But the same mind that tells us we're in trouble is the mind that has the solution for us getting out of trouble.
And it can provide. You know, we look at resources and we say they're limited. What limits God?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And when we shift from looking at what our senses tell us to divine principle, which tells us there's an infinite God, an infinite creator, creating infinitely.
But you know, the problem is that what we're doing is trying to figure out when we're going to get back to normal, but normal is a go, and a go is not coming back.
That's right.
The past is gone.
That's right.
And what we're being called to do is find new solutions to these things that are calling us to be better.
And the answers are always available to us when we avail ourselves to the answer.
When we stop focusing on what was and look towards what can be.
And what can be. And that brings us up, we spoke before the show. There's something that you have a very passionate feeling about, and it's very current, and it is a demonstration of the power of prayer.
Exactly.
And I want you to tell me about it.
The practitioners have chosen, with some prodding from me, to focus on what appears to be an issue for the valley. We don't have any rain, and people keep saying it. The weather people keep giving us information, and they show us the pictures of the map, and they show us the clouds moving, and they show us the clouds are missing us. They keep missing us. But how many of and I counted in the phone book, there are 90 categories of churches and over 700 of them in the valley. How many of them have considered praying for the
rain?
The Native Americans chanted for it, they danced for it, and it showed up. How many of us have decided to start praying for it?
I think that's a great idea, you know, and I'll tell you something that came across my radar, so to speak, a little earlier this year. You know, the fires we had last year up in the mountains. Okay, I was speaking to the woman that is kind of in charge of the Christian Science Church here on Shaw.
Yeah.
And she was telling me that they have kind of the equivalent of practitioners.
Right.
When the fire started, they started like a call network between them, and they started praying and they saw some really great things happen. And there were some statements that came from the firemen up there during the time. Amazement that things shifted in such a way that allowed them to get a handle on it. You know?
Right.
Power of prayer.
Right.
It's there when you take the time to see that it's there.
Exactly.
You know, and you open yourself up. You say, yeah, but that's not the prayer that I prayed. Well, maybe it's not the prayer you thought you prayed, but what are you thinking about between the speaking of the words and the rest of your day?
Exactly.
Oh, God, please help me, or I see this, and then I go on, I turn on the news, and it's terrible this, terrible that, whatever. We look at the Central Valley and we say, okay, there is a water issue, all right? Because people say there is a water issue.
Right.
Is there a water issue, or is there a water management issue? You know, is it possible that we have enough abundance here when it's properly utilized,
Exactly.
that maybe during this time when the rain's not falling from the sky, there's still enough water for us, for the farmers, which is very important, and for people.
Exactly.
You know, is it that we look at the conditions and say, oh my God, we're stuck in the conditions, or do we look at there is a power and a presence that can answer all when we open ourselves, and does answer when we open ourselves up to it? Where do we want to be? Stuck or open?
See, looking at the condition blocks our little brains from coming up with the creative solution of connecting with God.
Yeah.
We're always in alignment with that perfect source of everything. All we have to do is realize it and just sit in it. And the practitioners are asking for at least the next 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Take 7 minutes a day, whenever you want to do it. You don't have to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to do it at 6 or whenever.
Right.
Take 7 minutes one time a day and know that the rains are here, the reservoirs are full, the people are using water wisely and effectively, and you feel the moisture on your skin.
Wanda didn't say ask for. Wanda said no. Know that the rain, know that the water, feel it, experience it. It reminds me of a story I heard years ago. It was a drought condition, and this little church, everybody from the local area, they came to pray for rain. And there was a little boy, and he was standing outside, and this old fellow walked along. He says, well, what's going on in there? He said, well, they all came together to pray for rain. He says, well, you think it'll happen? He said, no, I don't think so. He says, why not? He says, I don't think they believe it. Well, what do you mean they don't believe it? Nobody brought an umbrella.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Do you know, do you hold it in consciousness, the reality, the truth is what is, or do you hope that maybe I bought a lottery ticket today.
You know, we have to have the consciousness of little kids.
Yeah.
And Jesus said that. You have to take all the stuff that you know as adults and become as a little child and connect with it, and connect with God and know and feel it.
And know that you know.
You know what? The other day when the rain did come,
right,
the air was electric. You could feel the air being electric. It's raining today. I know it.
Yeah.
And I felt it. Guess what? It rained all night.
Yeah.
But we need to all know that, not just one of us. All of us need to know that.
And that is regardless of what your particular spiritual affinity is, you know, whether you believe that you have to ask God or whether you believe God already knows and will answer your prayer in the knowingness of your prayer. Take that time. This is not just an idea, it is a challenge for all spiritual people here in the Central Valley. Take that time. Do you believe that there's a presence and a power for good, whether you call it God or Jehovah or Yahweh or whatever? You know, if you do, take that time. Just as God says, no, put me to the test, and we'll put him to the test.
Exactly.
And we're going to take our last break, so we'll see you when we come back.
This segment brought to you by Tioga Sequoia Brewery. Central Valley Talk is fueled by Tioga Sequoia Brewery in downtown Fresno.
Red Point Property Services will help you become a real estate investor. We buy houses for cash, repair, and sell them. We help people gain 10 to 20% on their investment. We also help families achieve the dream of home ownership. Visit redpointpropertyservices.com.
We are conveniently located across from Bullard High School on North Palm Avenue in Fig Garden. Morales Wellness Dental offers quality-oriented family dental care and service in a personalized and comfortable manner. As you enter our office, you'll always be greeted by our warm, caring dental team and will be invited to relax in our finely appointed lobby. We have 7 patient treatment suites that feature monitors for your in-op entertainment and diagnostic review. Our comfortable hygienist suites are the ideal setting for regular cleanings and checkups. As safety is our utmost priority, all instruments are put through our modern sterilization center. Furthermore, our sedation suite offers you both comfort and peace of mind during advanced dental procedures. And for your privacy, we have 2 separate patient consultation offices. Take the worry out of your next dental visit by calling us today. Experience our commitment to excellence, respect, and honesty at Morales Wellness Dental.
The Simonian family has been farming in the valley for 3 generations. Cold weather, drought, or accidents made ag investments risky. In 1951, C.D. Simonian started his own insurance agency to protect valley farmers from the uncertainty of the unknown. For your agricultural insurance needs, call C.D. Simonian Insurance Agency at 559-834-5333 or visit us on the web at cdsimonianinsurance.com. For all of your real estate needs, call Mike Briggs Properties, 559-486-6758, or check us out at MikeBriggsProperties.com.
You enter this door with expired tags. Beyond is another dimension, a dimension of regulations, a dimension of long waits. You have reached the registration zone. What looks like an ordinary shop is actually Mitchell Smog, located in the heart of the Tower District, a few minutes from the DMV. Mitchell Smog offers your vehicle a STAR-certified smog inspection. So remember Mitchell Smog when you need to pass through the registration zone.
Viewers of Central Valley Talk, what is your home worth? The experienced agents at Mike Briggs Properties are offering a free property valuation if you mention Central Valley Talk. Find the value of your property for free. Call Mike Briggs Properties at 486-6758. Mention Central Valley Talk. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back. It's New Thought Talk. My guest today has been Juanda Moore, a prayer practitioner from the Center for Spiritual Living, located on Clinton Street in beautiful downtown Fresno. I'm the Reverend Steve Walling. I'm the Senior Minister at the Spiritual Awareness Center out in Madera, California. Boy, we've had a lot of fun, a great show today. So we've got a little bit of time in this last segment, Juanda. You have some things you want to talk about, so tell us.
You know, I believe that if we have a campaign. You have to have a campaign.
Okay.
That's what they tell us.
Uh-huh.
We pray rain until the frogs come back. I heard that someplace. But we need to pray rain.
Yeah.
We need to feel it. We need to walk outside and see the electricity.
We need to shift consciousness
Exactly.
from lack, from limitation, from worry, from fear, to expressing and experiencing the truth of abundance in all areas of our life. Right here, right now, we're experiencing what we call a drought, but what about in our day-to-day lives? It doesn't, just because it's big or little, to God, there is no big or little. It works, God works in all ways, in all places, at all times. So when we're looking at conditions in our life, this is where it starts. When I can create within my consciousness a belief in my connection with Source, that I am one with the divine, that God is love, and if God is love, then anything that is contrary to a love principle has no truth and reality, because the reality is God is infinite.
And we can start from right where we are.
Yes.
And give up the past, let it go, and allow ourselves to move into what is.
But wait a second, doesn't God keep a list and checking it? No, that's Santa Claus.
Of course.
But no, but people hold that fear that God is keeping this list. Throw the list out. God doesn't care. The only list that's being kept is the list that you keep.
Exactly.
Let it go. Wash the slate clean, and as we move this stuff out of our mind, we create an open space within mind, within consciousness, to move something into.
Do you know the experiment that we considered was, it doesn't hurt to just let go of what you believed in.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to let go of what the news is telling you.
That's right.
It doesn't hurt. Why not try it?
Everything we believe today, we didn't believe at one time. So don't say, well, this is my belief and my beliefs can't change, because that's not true. Your beliefs do change. They change, they evolve as we go through life. There are people today that at one time didn't believe in any God, that now believe in God. There's people that believe that we couldn't go to the moon, and now we talk about, putting a man on Mars.
Exactly.
There's people that believe the world was flat at one time. We all know something different. There's people that believe that it was wrong for certain people to be together, and humankind has evolved, and that's changing.
What we're asking people to do is suspend disbelief.
Yes.
To let it go and just try.
Uh-huh.
Focusing on what is. I am God. What is it, the God stuff? I am the God stuff because I am from God.
That's right.
I am
In
creative.
In the beginning, there was God.
Exactly.
And if you read that, it doesn't say God and.
No, it doesn't.
It just says, in the beginning, there was God.
In the beginning, there was only one source, one substance, one unbounded consciousness, one unlimited awareness that created everything that is.
And that is abundance, and that is love, and that is rain.
That is rain.
Yeah.
Relax into it. Suspend disbelief. Spend 7 minutes feeling the water, looking at it, dropping down your windows, knowing that it is blessing our valley. Suspend the disbelief that it can't happen because it's not the rainy season. What are you going to lose by trying it?
That's
7
right.
minutes a day for the next month.
And you know what? If you go back and you look at the meteorological record, you'll find that there were periods of time when it did rain, and it rained heavy this time of year.
Yes.
It's happened in the past. There's nothing to prevent it from happening now, other than belief.
If we believe, if we consciously know that God never says no, we don't need to beg. We just need to know.
That's it.
The rain is, and the frogs will return.
There you go. All right, Wanda, I want to thank you for being on the show today. This was great. Blessings to you, blessings to your center. You folks are doing some great work there. and you're doing great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, very good. Okay, so here we are. As always, time gets away from us so fast. I can't believe we actually, you couldn't see it, but we had a list of another 3 pages long of stuff that we were going to cover today. So I guess we'll have to get back at it some other time. But if you're watching this show online, and that's the only way you can be watching the show, and you're out there, and maybe you're not in Fresno or Madera in the Central Valley somewhere, but what we said and spoke about today touched you in some way, you can find a center that's near you. You can go to findacenter.com. It is an online source where they have attempted to collect the addresses of all the centers around the world, regardless of what New Thought denomination they are. And you can reach out and find something as close to you as you can. And if you can't do that, or you know there's no place that you find that's close, then go to newthoughtlibrary.com. And newthoughtlibrary.com, you will find a whole bunch of books that have been uploaded there for you to use and utilize from the early pioneers of New Thought, religious science. You've got H. Emily Cady, you've got Ernest Holmes, Fenwick Holmes, you've got Charles Fillmore and several other members of the Fillmore family. There's John Bascom, who wrote the original Science of Mind back in 1881, which was 6 years before Ernest Holmes was even born. So, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, and it's there for you. It is available to you. You can copy it, download it, utilize it any way you can, study it, embody it in your lives. The difference that is made in your life is the difference that you choose to make in your life. You are the power in your life because you are God manifest as you. God works for you by working through you always. So be that co-pilot with this great creative force. You're never alone. There's no place where God is not. You are the light of God expressing as you. Know that, and as you go through your week, don't ever let that go. Practice that presence. Practice it always. And as I usually say at the end of the show, may the light of God surround you. May the love of God enfold you and the power of God protect you. May the presence of God watch over you because truly, no matter where you are in the world or out of the world, God is there. You are that which God is. All is well. And so it is. Have a great week, my friends. We'll see you next time.
This segment brought to you by Art Douglas Plumbing Incorporated. For all of your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs, call 559-222-5306.
Better Ceramic Tile is a locally owned and operated family business since 1975. They clean ceramic and porcelain tile and aggregate and PebbleTech floors. Call Better Ceramic Tile at 299-2878 or check them out at betterceramictile.com. Marty, the concrete guy, specializes in all types of concrete work. Contact Marty at theconcreteguy.com or call him at 559-718-9952.
CentralValleyTalk.com